Yo, what's up? This is Rain, and right now you're locked into the Don't Quote Me podcast. This is just a snippet. If you want to see the full video, make sure you hit the description. Check us out. Like, comment, subscribe.
Juneteenth is our holiday. They just started giving everybody work off and recognizing it as a national holiday. It dates back to 1865, and it basically signifies the end of the Civil War when 250,000 slaves were freed in the state of Texas. And they actually recognize slavery as being over. So happy Juneteenth to everybody. So to get the pod started off this week, you know we do our little top 5 list. We do our arguments every week. We want to switch stuff up this week. So everybody on the pod has a black person who inspired them that they want to give a little info about. But before we do that, we just want to pan the cameras over. We got my man, the last MJ, in the house today.
Yep.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Got my man Rain in the house once again.
Peace of the
You
gods.
official pod member at this point, man.
I'm here, man.
You like 12 pods in. Man.
This is
You know what I'm
getting
saying?
crazy, right?
You going viral and all that?
Yeah, look, I'm happy to be here.
Word. And of course, we got my man PC, P to the third letter.
P to the third letter. You ain't never heard better. You heard me?
Yeah.
And also, I go by Direct. But yo, MJ, man, let's get into it, man. Who inspired you as a young black man growing up, or who continues to inspire you now?
So I'm gonna go back retro after getting older and doing my history and going down the Juneteenth and slavery and the whole nine. I gotta go with Nat Turner. Nat Turner, for those that don't know, he was one of the slaves that led a revolution against the plantation owners back in the day, and it was like a 2-day revolution. And he ended up getting killed. He ended up killing like 65 of his masters or whatever, and he got done pretty bad at the end of the day. But what he did and what he stood for, and he was also like a preacher. So he was able to read, and a lot of slaves couldn't, and so they entrusted him to teach the other slaves how about the Bible, but he saw the flaws in how they were using the Bible to control the slaves. And so when he saw that and he kind of got the light, he was like, nah, it's not right. And so he used all the parts in the Bible that was where you kind of stand up for yourself and you do this and you do right. And so because of that, that's what started the revolt, and he ended up dying. And they did him really bad. It's stories on that if you look into that. But what he did ended up sparking some things where the North saw it, and it kind of started the civil war of the North and the South. But it's a great movie called Birth of a Nation. If you ever watch it, excellent movie. I think Nate Parker did it. Dope. A lot of people Hollywood wouldn't support it, and he had to get support from I think Michael Finley, Tony Parker, are the people that put up the money, and it was like a Jewish guy too that put up the money because no one would support him, and they tried to out Nate as an actor and go back in his past and just basically just try to discredit him from even doing the whole movie, and Hollywood wouldn't touch it. It was some big names wouldn't give him money too, and so but he fought through it, did it. It's a great message. Check out Birth of a Nation if you don't know much about Nat Turner.
Was some of the inspiration for Django loosely based on Nat Turner?
Probably.
I want to say I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he kind of did the same thing when he took over Candyland.
Exactly.
But that was a real thing that Nate did. Great movie. Great story.
That was dope. So, Rain, what you got, man?
Growing up, someone who inspired me was definitely Ali. Watching Muhammad Ali just go in there and use his platform to speak about more than just fighting, just boxing. It was deeper than that. Just everything he was doing, from going against speaking up against politics, the religion, realizing that he was God, joining the nation and all that. Yeah, he was ill, and just having that level of confidence and charisma and believing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? I took a lot of that. Some people might look at it as cocky or whatever, or arrogant, but just knowing that you could do something, right? And not trying to humble yourself to please people around you. Because I hate that. I hate when somebody say, yo, be humble yourself. Why does me shining my light make you so uncomfortable?
Right.
Like, let me be who I am and let me, celebrate my own greatness. Because people are not always gonna do that for you.
That's fact.
People ain't gotta clap for you. Sometimes you gotta clap for yourself. So, yeah, Ali was one of the ones for me.
There's two things I want to point out about Muhammad Ali. I think one, I don't know if people today understand how serious it was to be a draft dodger
Right.
in those days. And the fact that he was like, I believe the quote was like, I'm not going to fight against no Viet Cong. They never did nothing to me.
Right.
And
We going to war right here.
Exactly. There's wars
And
going on
still-
in the world now, and people don't think like that.
Right. And
You know
we
what I'm
still
saying?
going to war. And the draft is back.
Exactly.
Like, to bring that full circle, yeah. From, I think, 18 to
18 to 26.
Yes.
to 26. Yeah, it's a
That's
federal
crazy.
crime if you
If you
abduct it,
do
try to
not
abduct the draft.
register.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The other thing is, with Muhammad Ali, the illest thing, and this speak to battle rap, how we talk about how it's wrestling. When he fought Joe Frazier, did you ever hear the story of like, remember how he was going crazy in the build up? And he said when they got in the ring and they got to the front where the referees telling them all the rules and they got to touch gloves, he said Joe Frazier was like wanted to kill him, and he was just like, we did it. We did it. We gonna get paid. We did it. He said Joe Frazier was so confused. And he said he didn't understand, so he thought about it like years
Right.
later. Like, damn,
The marketing of it, right?
Yeah, he really helped.
Yeah,
like,
he was a master when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
Selling the fight. And everyone still takes that from him to this day.
rhyming, everything.
Yeah.
Right?
He was ill.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
super dope. Yeah.
Who you got, P?
I'm going with my son Fred Hampton, man, because I gotta give it up to the Black Panthers. Like today, we don't have nobody nearly as strong as those guys, bro. Like those guys were willing to put their lives on the line to make a change for black people. Like their movement was really for like to stop police brutality on black people all across America. And I just think like for those group of guys to be outside, front line, armed, they willing to give their lives. They willing to kill any cops that get in it, like that type of, and for you to be like a chairman in that, and you like have a huge influence on the black culture, and everybody just wants to hear you out. You could just say tonight we killing 50 white cops. We ain't going in until I just think people like that, they have to get out of there. Like they shot his crib up when they were
They did that
asleep
so bad.
and tried to act like it was a shootout between he fired first and they were just retaliating, only to come out 50 years later to find out they were just asleep in the crib and 99 shots were fired into the house, and him and one other guy got killed. And I just think like it's so much police brutality going on till this day, and everybody always just want to march and think that we're supposed to fight back police brutality and all of that with a march or something of that nature, when
A cool
silence ain't never defeated nothing. We gotta answer back the same. That once those group of guys just came together and was like, bro, we sick of this shit, bro. We gonna get guns. And they couldn't handle that, bro. So they had to get rid of that whole organization and tried to paint them out to be the bad guys to the media. And I just think I gotta give it up to people like that, because we don't really have that many people today that's willing to give their lives to make sure another black man, another Mike Brown or whatever, or I could just name countless people. Like, we don't really got people that's willing to put their lives on the line to make sure it never happens again. And those guys were willing to, and they already knew they were gonna die. That didn't stop nothing. They woke up every day like, this could possibly be my last day, and I'm okay with that. So I just gotta tip my hat to those guys, man. Not just Fred, but just all of those guys. Word.
Mine definitely rest in peace to Fred Hampton. He died at a young age.
It was like 20
Yeah.
something.
24,
Yeah.
something like that.
Assassinated.
There you go.
Of course, and there was black cops involved in that too. Correct.
They shot 99 bullets.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's great. And if you see the movie, it like really hits home.
Yeah, the
too.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
That was an excellent movie.
5 Oscars.
Excellent
Great movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
I went to see that movie in a movie theater, and I just remember the silence when it was all over, like the tension between black people and white people walking out the theater. It was,
Some whites in there?
yeah, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like people came out to see that, and it was like weird.
Yeah.
It was like all the energy, like exiting the theater, looking at each other. It was no love. It's crazy.
That's bananas.
It's crazy.
That's why I really try to refrain from watching those type of movies because
I love the movies.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
it's
You
gonna
can't
make,
forget
it's
about it.
gonna
why you be on
make
time,
you
fam.
hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I love the movies. I mean, Birth of a Nation is one of those.
Yeah, it is.
12 Years a Slave.
I feel like if you indulge in those type of like the simplest thing could set you off or
no,
from
yeah.
a white
12 Years a Slave. I still haven't watched it.
No, listen, you
I
gotta
seen a
watch
piece
it.
of it, and I was like, oh,
It's like
that's
you
too
like
much.
You can't hide from it.
You have to, because you got to think about it, like our ancestors like they actually went through that. So when it'll like do something to you, it'll like empower you, but you'll also like put your life in like perspective, and you'll be more grateful for what they did and God and where He has you now. It's like it's great to be black. Everybody loves to be black, like, you know what I mean? But if God would have made us 70 years old here earlier, I don't know how much you would be saying that. You know what I mean? You would be like, oh no, this ain't right. So it's like, but those people lived that and they marched that. And I think like the Chinese proverb has like a quote, and it says like one generation plants trees and the next generation gets shade. So it's like they never saw that. Like you said, those people were willing to die. Like all those people laid their lives down and weren't afraid.
They didn't have much
for
to
us
lose.
get here.
They
They didn't have no much to
Right.
lose. That's one thing. But whatever they had, they could have just been okay with that. But now we not sacrificing, and we have great lives now.
No, but
Yeah,
we
We not
yeah.
sacrificing.
but we're too distracted.
Yeah.
Like we feel like we have much to lose when we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
That's
They
a fact.
knew they didn't have much to lose.
yeah, they didn't.
That's what I meant by that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like we have like this false idea of success, and we just real dormant.
But we have so much more to gain if we were to get
True.
rid of that.
True.
You feel
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
for
True.
sure, for sure.
But-
If we lift the wall up and really paid attention to the game, and like we are not about to keep playing this game on our backs, cause like fuck Juneteenth, fuck the day, fuck giving us a day and saying oh, this is
Yeah,
yours.
word.
Fuck you. We want reparations. We want ownership. We want land. We want like give us something real. Like you give us a day off of work, man. Fuck that. Keep that shit. Give us what you really owe us. Like don't do that.
Yeah.
Pay us like you owe us for all
all
the
the
years
years
that you
that
hold
Yeah,
us.
like let's keep it all the way
overcharging
real. Like
niggas for what they
I
did
get
to
it.
Fred
you know
Hampton.
what I'm saying? I get it.
It's
Whatever.
a start.
Oh yeah, it's a start. Yeah, for
It
sure.
is what it is.
It's
man.
a start. Do you
It's great to start the conversation.
So so do you think black people could be racist?
Yes. Yes.
How?
Can black people use their power to oppress another
Yeah,
group
hold
of
on.
people?
Yeah, black people can be racist.
Before we do that, look, hold on. Let me get into who my
Oh,
person
sorry,
is.
sorry.
'Cause that's a whole. We about to go overboard.
Yeah.
It's Juneteenth.
Nah,
What
nah,
you
nah,
mean,
nah.
We
bro?
going in today. I ain't know this was
I
one of
know,
those, but come on, let's go.
So, yeah, for a lot of people that don't know, I'm from Massachusetts. I was born in
mean
Lowell,
streets of
Massachusetts. Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, nah, I was born in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Never even heard of
and
that
I actually spent Mill City. Shout out to everybody from there. But I spent a lot of time in school in Plymouth, Massachusetts for the majority of my life growing up. And my dad went to college with somebody named Keith Motley. This is kind of like a 2-in-1. So Keith became a really good friend of the family, my mother and father, and like for holidays and different events, we would always go up to Keith's house. Keith always had like a big house, and it was always a lot of black professionals there. So it put us as kids in a mind state of like, how do I get this? How do I achieve this? And these are people that you know what I'm saying, was in the workforce, did something. So Keith was actually the chancellor of students at UMass Boston. You know what I'm saying? So he was well respected in the community from everybody, and to see a black man that had achieved that much success at a young age was like super inspiring for me. And he actually started a program named after Paul Robeson, who this is about, It's called the Paul Robeson Institute for Positive Self-Development. And then they had another program called like Boys to Men, and D2 that was a part of it. And the whole thing was about taking inner city kids and basically like putting them in a school setting with all black teachers. You know what I'm saying? My dad was the math teacher there for a certain age group. You know what I'm saying? So he used to bring me with him, and it was like, yo, you not, even though you're going to school in Plymouth, like I'm gonna put you around inner city kids like this whole time. That's why I kind of, for people that know me, I have like this dual personality because of those experiences. And so, and then I got to learn who Paul Robeson was, and he did so much. I even had to bring a flashcard. So Paul Robeson was basically, he was an activist. He was an actor. Like he was in like the plays for Othello and stuff like that back then. You know what I'm saying? He was an athlete. He was in the AFL before it was the NFL. He was a singer. You know what I'm saying? And he spoke over 20 languages, right? And he went so hard with the civil rights movement that the government actually they did something with his passport to where he had to leave the United States for a amount of time. So in that time when he left the United States, he went up and he met with like Albert Einstein. He went to China, learned how to speak like Cantonese and all this stuff. And then he even fought against fascism abroad. You know what I'm saying? And even colonialism. So I was like, for somebody, we haven't seen somebody that talented. And I just wanted to shout out Paul Robeson and Dr. Keith Motley, because them two was a big part of me growing up and learning self-worth as, you know, a young black kid. So that's what.
Dope. That's amazing. That's amazing. I got to do some research.
Yeah. So now on to racist.
Can black people be racist?
Nah, we ain't got it. We ain't got it.
Let's skip that. Let's skip that.
Let's have some fun.
All right.